Good evening. I would like to call the October 28th regularly scheduled board meeting to order and ask that you join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. And now would you please stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And now we'll have Director Mills read our mission statement.
The Waterloo schools will set the standard for urban education by ensuring that every student is given the comprehensive support and diverse experiences needed to graduate with a diploma and a plan.
Thank you, Director Mills. The next item on our agenda is information from individuals and delegations. The next item, this is an opportunity where those who wish to address the school board may do so. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes or less, and I will hold up a yellow card when you have 30 seconds remaining and a red card when your time has expired. At that time, I will ask you to conclude your public remarks. Please also avoid criticizing the job performance of specific employees of the school district. Personnel matters are confidential and must be handled through proper channels and not in a public forum. Finally, we provide this as an opportunity for public comments, but it is generally not a back and forth discussion, especially if items not on the agenda. At times, we'll try to help if we can with information before or after the meeting, but we must proceed with our board meeting agenda items. With that, I invite anyone who wishes to address the board to please come forward and start by stating your name and home address. And can you make sure the green light is on, please?
Just push it. It'll be light. It'll be like a brighter green.
Thank you. My name is Blake Smith. My address is 3012 Kennedy Lane, Waterloo, Iowa, 50701. Reason I'm here today is because I wanted to talk about something that I believe is beneficial, but has also caused issue for students. And the thing I'm talking about is IXL, which I think all of you can agree is a beneficial resource to students. It's a tool that can be used for learning. But the reason I'm here is because of its necessity to students, as in students are basically told to use it, and it's a matter of not if they want to use it and if it would be beneficial to their education, but it's just become a chore. It's something that is mandated onto students, and what I've seen is students don't use it as a resource. I've seen students no longer even try on IXL. I have, mind you, I'm in 11th grade. There's a kid in my grade or a senior who has like kindergarten stuff coming up on his IXL because he doesn't try, because he just sees it as something that he has to do. I know that it can be beneficial because it's been beneficial to me. But the issue is it's being advertised as something that's mandatory and not something that is a tool, something that can be beneficial to students. And so the reason I'm here is because of it being mandated. I have benefited from it. I try to use as many resources as I can. That's also why I'm a part of the Educational Talent Search. But what I've seen is students have become classically conditioned into not liking IXL, They don't try, and it just has become a chore, and they don't use it now. They don't think about using it as a tool. They just think of it as a chore, something they just have to do. I know that it can be beneficial to students, but I don't know if the right way of doing it is mandating it, because what I've seen is people don't even think of using it as a tool anymore. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Is there anyone else that would like to address the board this evening? Going once? Twice? Thank you. The next item on our agenda, item 6, is the consent agenda. Tonight's consent agenda consists of 3 items. Approval of minutes from the October 14th, 2024 regular board meeting. Item 2, personnel appointments and adjustments. And item 3, bills due and payable and bills paid between board meetings. Are there any of these items that board members want to see removed? Seeing none, can I get a motion to put these items on the table?
So moved.
Second?
You got that, Jeff? All right. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, state aye.
Aye.
With items 1, 2, and 3. Let me specifically say that. Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Motion carried. The next item on our agenda, item 7, is English learners EL access cost applications for MSA. It is the superintendent's recommendation that the Board of Education approve submission of the request to the SBRC for $1,168,851.05 in modified allowable growth to provide 100% spending authority for the 2024-2025 actual LEP program costs, that this increased allowable growth may be funded by 2025-2026 cash reserve levies.
So moved.
Second?
And we have our own Chief Financial Officer, Jeff Summerfield. And Ms. Simona, if you have any questions on that.
Sure. So just to give a little background, most of you probably are aware, our ELL students generate additional weighting, which creates additional funding for the school district. Then each year in September, we file our certified annual report, the CAR, on September 15th. That lists all of the district's expenses that we have, including categorical funds such as ELL. So this process for most of our districts, along with most other large UEN districts, is in place to help us fully support our program. We have this process to request additional modified allowable growth from the SBRC. For the last few years, we haven't come forward with this request because we had ESSER funds in place, and any deficit that we had, we were able to supplement that deficit with ESSER funds. At the end of the 22-23 school year, we'd finish using all of our ESSER funds, and then for 23-24, we didn't have that funding in place, and that's what generated the deficit again in 23-24 of $1.1 million. That amount is pretty consistent with what we've requested in prior years before we had the ESSER funds, and it's also consistent with what other large UEN districts are requesting with similar populations.
Thank you, Jeff. Are there any questions for Jeff on this?
Just a little bit of clarity. For, in the past, it's always came out of the cash reserve.
What we're allowed to,
Before I think the ESSERs.
whenever we have a request to the SBRC for additional authority, that grants authority but no cash to go along with it. So then in April, when we certify our taxes, one of the options is to issue cash reserve levy against that authority so that we also have the matching cash.
We good on that?
Yeah.
All right. All those in favor of approving the superintendent's recommendation, state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Motion carried. The next item on our agenda, item 8, special education van purchase. It is the superintendent's recommendation that the Board of Education purchase 4 vans from Dan Deere Motor Company at a total purchase price of $155,309 for use by the Special Education Department, and that special education funding be used for the purchase of the vans.
So moved.
Second?
And we have Zach Kelly, Director of Operations, here, Megan Allen, and Jeff Summerfeld to answer questions. I'll give a little details while Zach is walking up to the podium. The district is considering the purchase of 4 vans to assist with the transportation of special education students. The vans will be primarily used for morning and afternoon home-to-school routes for students, along with midday transportation for work experience, dual enrolled, and pre-K students. The district will employ internal drivers for these routes. Good evening.
Good evening.
So I'm sure you can go a little bit more in depth than I did.
Yep, so currently, we're looking to hire 5 positions for a driver and a monitor. So each van route would have a driver and a monitor. The monitor would be an assistance for making sure the students securely fastened in their seat, just kind of overseeing to make sure that there's no behavioral issues and that they're maintaining that. And then also, as President Astor had mentioned, that these are home-to-school routes, but these will also do midday routes as well, which will include work experience in pre-K and dual enrollment. And then the 4 vans will be purchased from Dan Deere. So I got quotes from Dan Deere and Stu Hansen. And Dan Deere was the lowest, and they also have them in stock rather than Stu Hansen would have to order them in from the factory. So these are ready to be picked up pending board approval.
So they're minivans, right?
Correct, yep, so they seat total of 7 passengers. And that's
So 5
including
kids.
the driver, exactly, yep, 5 kids.
Which will help with our busing by pulling off regular buses onto, on the main routes.
Correct,
Versus
yep.
small routes here that sometimes that are very low staffed or low numbers on the buses, so.
Absolutely.
How are we currently transporting these kids? Do we already have vans like this, or?
First Student does have some vans and some routes, but what we're finding is we don't have enough. So we have 49 students who require a van route, and right now First Student can't accommodate that level of need. So we're piecemealing and Band-Aiding as best we can to get the kids to school, but in some cases it's not a full day. It's, bad situations that we'll be able to remedy with our own drivers.
And so these are just, they're not modified, these are for kids with no mobility issues kind of stuff, right?
Right now, yes, we do have, there will be the need in moving forward for like our work experience routes to be able to transport students who are wheelchair bound.
Yeah.
So we will have to figure that out at some point in time, but right now, these first routes, no, we don't have any mobility issues in the kids that we need to get the service that's in their IEP right now.
Do we have any insurance issues? Do we have any insurance issues as far as, I'm sure that First Student has their own blanket policy that covers them. We've probably can get insurance on each one of these vans, but are there any other insurance things that we need to think about?
Nope, I've been dealing with Lynette Sutton with PDCM, and there's no issues. Our premium will increase a little bit just because of the liability, but there's no
More
other
risk, more money.
issues. Yep, there's no other issues besides that. The only other thing is these vans will be inspected by the Department of Education, and that's a requirement every 2 years.
Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you. Or sorry, twice a year, sorry.
Yep.
I'm just glad we can do this, since it's helping out with the transportation and meeting our IEP, and just us transporting our own kids feels good.
And I especially like the work experience portion of it, so students will have transportation throughout the day as well, as those are important. Any more questions or comments? So all those in favor of approving the superintendent's recommendation, state aye.
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 Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carried. Thanks, you two. Appreciate it.
And that's all the motioning for the
Yeah.
day.
Wow.
I know.
We got, I think we're in a second reading.
Yeah. Second, read.
Oh, it was second reading, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We can get it.
We do a motion on that, yeah.
Bear with me, we're still working on this technology. I need my bifocals to read the screen.
Yeah, well, I want here to read it twice.
It is nice. You can make it big.
I'm
You
a-
can swoop out with your
I'm
fingers.
gonna read it from the paper. The next item on our agenda, item 9, board policy changes, second reading. The superintendent's recommendation is that the Board of Education approve the following policies: equal educational opportunity, long-range assessment, long-range needs assessment, anti-bullying, anti-harassment policy, administrator contract and contract non-renewal, administrator professional development, development and enforcement of administrative regulations, monitoring and administration regulations, substance-free workplace, education records access, objection to instructional and library materials, student health services, investments, audits, internal controls, free or reduced cost meals eligibility, vending machines, transportation in inclement weather, school bus passenger restraints, capital assets, disposal of obsolete equipment, community resources, persons and volunteers, visitors to the school district buildings and sites, public conduct on school premises, distribution of materials, and nicotine, tobacco-free environment.
A few.
Do we need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So the following, and Pam is not here today, the following policies have been reviewed by the district leadership team and the policy review committee and are being presented for second reading. The policies were presented for first reading on October 14th, 2024. Are there any additional questions on these policy changes? I think we went over quite a few of these at the 14th board meeting.
We got what, one, I think this one's new, right? Objection to instructional and library materials. Is that a new policy?
60503.
Any of them that say proposed
Yeah. Okay, thank
would
you.
be. It's
Must
just,
be the legislative changes coming through.
that's just what came from the state, correct?
State from the
Yeah.
latest.
If you check the next page, it'll have the one that IASB sent down. Did we do any changes from the IASB? Does anyone know? I'm sorry, I didn't make it all the way to the end of the last meeting.
It would, if it changed any from the IASB, it would have it
Does-
struck or,
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
no. Looks like it's the same, just the numbers changed.
And we had written a policy for this a while ago anyway, like a reg,
Yeah.
last year, I think, so it should
Just-
all be in there.
Just the numbers.
Yeah.
Is the only thing
Oh,
that
it's
looked like
just
it
the number
changed. Yeah, number change.
Got ya.
Any questions?
No.
So all those in favor of approving the superintendent's recommendation, state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carried. And that is the end of our action items, 522. And now on to the superintendent's report.
It's a new record.
That's what happens when live.
Just a couple quick things I have. Thanks to everyone who attended the ribbon cutting ceremony last week at the WCCX. It was a great turnout. We estimated that maybe more than 200 people in there in the crowd. So just really cool. But the highlight was probably our two expo students who got up in front of the large crowd and spoke in terms of their experience at the WCCX thus far. Those two students, I told them, like, I think a lot of adults would have been nervous in that setting, let alone students, and no script. Kind of just went up there and spoke from the heart and talked about the experiences that they've had in their different classes. So a cool event for the Career Center last week. So thanks to the board members who were able to make it, the community members who were able to make it. Cool event. And the other thing is our last town hall meeting is tonight. It's here at 6:30, about an hour from now. It'll be at Hope City Church, which is right in front of East High. This is our last, I mean, we'll continue to answer questions up through next Tuesday, but this is the last opportunity for community members to come and hear the presentation. Jesse, you're going to be filling in for Lyle tonight, so thank you for doing that. And then Amy Meehy is also, got the tie and everything here, looking good. Then Amy Schmidt is gone here tonight, and so filling in for her will be our Director of Secondary Education, Josh Johnson. But hoping for a good turnout over there, and if you want to hear anything else about the project or get your questions answered, make sure to hop on over to Hope City Church tonight from 6:30 to 8.
That it?
That's it.
All right, thank you, Dr. Smith. Tonight we'll start with Director Ewing.
Get out and vote, everybody. Just get out and vote. That's all.
We're going to hear a lot of that. Thank you, Director Ewing. Director Matlock.
I had an opportunity to, up at Wartburg, we had a speaker come in, and it was the principal of North High School in Minneapolis. She was awesome. I would definitely recommend her for some sort of professional development. And it's based off the documentary Love Them First, Lessons from the Lucy Laney Elementary School. And one of the things that she said, I mean, she said a lot of things, but one of the things she ended with is she read our Wartburg College mission statement. And she said, Wartburg College is dedicated to challenging and nurturing students for lives of leadership and service as a spirited expression of our faith and learning. And then she looked at us and said, ask yourself, do you do this? And I was like, wow. And so I would like to ask ourselves, are we living out our mission statement for the Waterloo Community Schools? The Waterloo Schools will set the standard for urban education by ensuring that every student is given the comprehensive support and diverse experiences needed to graduate with a diploma and a plan. So I would like for us, as we live out our work, you know, as teachers, administrators, board members, and everything else, I want us to remind ourselves of our mission statement and ask ourselves, are we doing this? So, as Director Ewing said, get out and vote. Carver is having their literacy night on November 4th from 5 to 6:30. Let's glow and read, and let's make this happen. Make sure we're living out the mission statement of the Waterloo Schools. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Director Matlock.
One more thing, and thank you, Blake Smith, for coming out tonight. Being a student is good to hear from students and their perspective on how things are working or not working within our district. So I appreciate you coming out tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Matlock. Yeah, you got to go behind her.
I know, right?
Director Cox.
Well, first of all, once again, I want to reiterate, Blake, for you to come and express your views. I think it takes a lot of nerve to just get up and express, especially sometimes I think we, as board members, might seem kind of off limits, but I appreciate the fact that you did come up and you expressed an opinion. The other thing I would like to mention is about, there was a young lady at the Career Center that came over to Central, and she talked with some of the kids, talked to some kids that got in a little bit of trouble, and she gave them her story. And I remember that girl, because she said a few words to me, too. And it wasn't pleasant. But I was so, I don't know, filled with joy to hear this young lady, she's a junior now, expressing to these students about, in essence, you need to grow up. Embarrassing teachers, making them cry and that kind of thing is not cool. what she did back then put her behind. So now she's playing a catch-up game. And then the other factor is the simple fact that she said, I always do hair. And guess what? She has an opportunity to do hair. I'm not going to lie. This young lady, I am just totally, this is what we're in this for. And so I just want to put a shout out and just kind of give the story. And she was very, very, she got a point across to some of the students because, yeah, she was one of them. But now to see her, she's on the road back doing what we educationally was trying to do. She looked in the mirror. She realized she had to change. And she did. And now she's doing what she needs to do of moving forward. So kudos to the young lady there. I would have been able to say her name, but I forgot to ask, see if I can have permission. Sorry. The other thing of it is, we just got done with like football, volleyball, other sports. Also, a shout out to our bands. Those students are very dedicated. And, you know, I just want to just put a shout out to the parents that picking the kids up, dropping them off, the time that they spend. Kudos to the parents. Kudos to the kids that stayed out. They started and they finished. Starting and finishing means a lot. And so I just definitely want to mention that. And lastly, I just want to mention that, you know, I, as a part of this board, I empathize for our teachers. I empathize for our teachers. You know, I have a different angle. I'm at one of the middle schools pretty much every day except Friday. You know, I would even challenge some board members to show up unannounced and see what's really going on. Don't get me wrong, there's some good things going on. But we also got some things that we got to tighten up. You know, professional development, we need to really, really look into that, because our young teachers, if we're going to be able to retain our young teachers, they're going to need that professional development to deal with what they're dealing with in the classroom. Because I don't think they're taught that. So I just want to just say to the teachers and also staff members, I'm with you. I see you. I applaud you. I applaud you on the fact that you're keeping going, trying the best to stay with that mission of teaching kids, having a plan. So I just want to kind of, I just want to throw that out there. And, you know, I'm just pleased to be able to see our staff members, teachers, working hard sometimes when it's hard to deal with some of the children that they're dealing with. So I'll end that on that note.
Thank you, Director Cox. Director Knight.
So I just want to mention, anybody didn't get a chance to come, we had a group that organized a community viewing of the West Side Marching Band last week at Memorial Stadium. It was a really neat event. I was really pleased at the amount of attendance beyond just parents and stuff. I was, you know, I've been band parent for about a decade now, probably at least. And the first time that's been done, and it was, to my knowledge, and it was, from a parent that ends up spending a lot of time out and not really getting to watch, because I'm volunteering with it, make sure that kids get their moment. It's nice to sit back and just kind of see what the work they done, and I think it's just a good way to kind of promote to the community, the effort they put in and stuff. So I'm hoping to see that grow in the future, and get the East Side Band over there next year too, and just have a double showing, and, without having to stress at a football game or everything else going on, just let the band kids have their neat moment. And so, if you already missed it, you really missed a very good event, so.
Nice. Thank you, Director Knight. How long did it last? How long would something like that last?
A half hour.
Okay.
You figure that their routine is done in a halftime of a football game.
Oh, yeah.
So we spent more time setting up and tearing down than we did the actual event. They did introduce some of the band members, the section leaders and drum majors and seniors and stuff too, so
Nice.
recognize them.
We might have to get that going with both.
Yeah, to have the kids
Yeah.
cheer for each other from
And,
the schools.
yep.
Yeah, that would be super.
And on an off day, so we can get more people attending. So, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Director Knight. All right.
I'm back.
I did it this way on purpose. Director Mills.
Well, first of all, I'm glad to be back again. It was a very long hiatus. To people who don't know, I had a knee replacement in July, and it got infected, and the revision was horrific, and I almost died. And so I'm kind of getting back into life, but I feel bad how much board stuff I've missed. I feel out of the loop, especially going into this vote. So I appreciate everything that everyone has done to help me feel like I know what's going on. Blake, I'm glad you came. My daughter felt the same way about IXL as you did, because it targeted the things that she was having trouble with. And I especially loved with the standard-based grading that you can go back then and take those tests that maybe the skills, you were lacking skills. But when we vote on stuff, we don't know, we hear from the teachers, we don't always hear from kids what they think of it. So thank you. That's very informative, and we'll see on this side then what they think too. So appreciate that. What are some of the resources, Jared, that people can look at if they still have questions before the vote for the new school bond cell?
Well, off the top of my head, our website has a lot of the different FAQs, videos, the one-pagers.
So is that just the Waterloo Schools website?
Yep, if you go to the main page, the Waterloo Schools main page, it'll take you right to that resource.
Okay.
The thing that's coming out, and I think it's any day now, is we did a professional videographer was at our last town hall meeting.
I wondered, okay.
And so that is ready to go. My understanding is that will be up and shared here in the next day or two, is my understanding. So anybody who did not get a chance to attend one of our, we've had quite a few town halls, but still, I know some people's schedules don't allow for it.
Unless they want to come tonight.
Unless they want to come tonight. You got an hour until we see you over there. There will be a video that has that people can see exactly what's being presented.
Good.
Would be another option. Also, all Waterloo, let me ask this group, did this group all receive the flyer last week in their mailbox? Anyone who lives in Waterloo schools should have received a mailer last week, that lives within the boundaries. Should have received a mailer last week that had a bunch of the most important information in one spot. There's also another mailer that's going out here very shortly that'll include some facts versus myths.
Oh, okay.
That should be in people's mailboxes here in the next week or so. Well, clearly in the next 8 days. So there's information going out there. I don't.
Those are good.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I read some of the questions on Facebook, and I don't always want to just answer myself, because I know that there's resource, especially since I've kind of been out of it, and want to make sure I answer exactly correctly. So being able to refer then to those resources is really nice.
Sure.
And just so we're clear, it'll be on the back side, because not everyone does the back side of the ballot, right? It'll be on the back.
It is on the back. I voted today.
Okay, so make sure you turn it over and do the back too.
Yes. The very last question, the very last item. It's the very last item on the ballot.
Yes.
Okay. And then finally, the resource that I found really enlightening was Lyle's op-ed piece that he wrote. And that was that in the Courier, Marie? So, yeah, Lyle Schmidt's op-ed that was a few days, I don't remember what day it was, but.
Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah, so that should be able to be pulled up online. It's really good, and it does address a lot of that same stuff. So, that's all. I'm just so glad to be back. If you have questions, though, and you want answers from a person, you can contact us, too. That's what we're here for. Whew.
Thank you, Director Mills, and welcome back. So
Thank
we're
you.
glad to have you. I get you the official welcome back
Thank you.
last week, so
It feels good.
good deal. All right, so now for my report. Mr. Smith, thank you. It was already stated, but being able to come in a space like this and conversate and advocate for things that you feel and believe in, you're not only speaking for yourself, you're probably speaking for a number of your peers that may feel the same way. So we appreciate you. That showed a lot of courage and just keep pushing, keep representing. It doesn't go unnoticed. So we appreciate you. Thank you for showing up. Get out and vote before I forget this piece. Election day is November 5th. There's still early voting at the courthouse. Make sure you exercise your right to vote. Congratulations to the West High football team with a dramatic victory on Friday night that got them into the playoffs,
Wow.
the 5A playoffs. I think it wasn't a walk-off, but it was a walk-off. I think it was 20 seconds left. They scored a touchdown, so one of my favorite people, one of the players. So that's pretty exciting for those individuals and for the city. So congratulations to them. I missed the band competition. I probably would have went to that one, especially if I knew it was a half hour or two. I would have went to that one, but hopefully I'll get an opportunity to see the band. Yeah, it was at the town hall. So, but just having the opportunity for those family members and the people that put in all the work behind the scenes to be able to experience that. So I know the community and the parents and the students with that larger crowd in the audience focused solely on them. It wasn't that you were going to a football game and you just happened to run into the band.
Yeah.
Something that was personal to them. So it looked like a good time and good turnout. So glad that they were able to do that.
Cross country, girls cross country.
Okay.
You know, we had state qualifier.
Oh, yeah. I know her too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations to, I won't say the name. Can I say the name?
Yeah.
It was Nakia, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations to Nakia Oliveri, state qualifier, West High Cross Country. I hate to single people out because I may miss somebody, but that's the one that we do know about. So congratulations.
That's the one we had.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know she's dedicated and puts in a lot of work, time and effort and work. So congratulations to her. As Dr. Smith mentioned, tonight is the last town hall meeting, 6:30 p.m. Hope City Church, 118 High Street here in the city of Waterloo. November 5th is Election Day. The next time we'll be in this room is on November 11th. This is the only board meeting for the month of November, 5 p.m. And then all offices are closed. All offices and buildings will be closed November 27th through the 29th. And then there's only one board meeting also in December, and that's on December 9th. We all know that Halloween, the celebration for Halloween is this week, so make sure we're watching out for kiddos and be careful, have fun, don't eat too much candy. But that's all I have, I believe. So can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carried. We're adjourned.